Let's go through the worst trades in NFL history. I'll give you one.
Okay.
I think this one, for Patriots fans, you're going to love it. If you're a Raiders fan, you hate it.
I know where you're going now.
Randy Moss for a 4th-round pick.
That was crazy.
That's it.
I know. I mean, but listen, this is revisionist history. Like, he was a pain in the arse. Both of them.
He was still in his prime.
He hated the Raiders. The Raiders hated him. Like, they had to move off of him.
But only a 4th. This isn't the NBA. Only a 4th-round pick.
People thought he was done, bro.
1,400 yards, 23 receiving touchdowns. If David Tyree didn't exist, a Super Bowl ring.
Facts.
And they gave that up for a 4th-round pick.
That's crazy, man.
Chiefs got a first for Tyreek Hill. Shoot, the Steelers got a 4th-round pick for Chase Claypool.
Oh.
Yeah.
God, that just made my stomach hurt.
Raiders got a 4th-round pick for Randy Moss. I think that's what puts it in perspective as an awful
No, it's
trade.
definitely, I can't argue that. All right, mine's a little more intricate. Do you remember when Denver traded for Russell Wilson? I do, because I knew at the time this isn't going to work. Denver traded Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and a 5th-round pick to Seattle for Wilson and a 4th-rounder. Oh, by the way, Denver still, to this day, owes Danger Russ $85 million. $85 million to get lost. Bruh, come on, George. Come on, George.
2 firsts, 2 seconds?
We talk about how drafting a quarterback who's a bust sets your franchise back.
Trades like that?
Come on now.
Because now your team building's all about you got to pay for free agents. You don't have 2 firsts and 2 seconds?
Right. So Sean Payton gets that job based on the premise of you got to fix us. Like, we'll pay you whatever, but you got to fix us. This is a mess. We got to move off of this guy, and we got to reset, and we don't have any assets to do it.
He tried to make Russell Wilson kept the car on the road.
Yeah, he wasn't
Took
terrible.
care of the football. Sean Payton just hated him.
He hated him.
And now he's $85 million to go play football in Pittsburgh.
Crazy.
You and I are on the same path, mindset-wise.
Yep.
I went for that 49ers trade. Trade up to get Trey Lance.
Yeah, but at
overall.
least I'll say this about that, because you're not wrong. Like, that was dumb, clearly, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But they could pivot because of their system. And I don't want to, this is going to sound disrespectful to Brock Purdy. I don't want it to sound, it's going to sound that
He's
way.
a system quarterback.
I don't mean it that way. Because I like him. But like, their system helps Brock Purdy. We'll just say that. And so the difference is in Denver, they had a moron for a head coach in Nathaniel Hackett when they acquired Russ. So there's no system in place. So then, okay, sure, you pay all the money in the world to Sean Payton. I get it. Why wouldn't you? But like, he has a system, and it's very strict, and it's so that's where I think some of this was. Russ wasn't terrible with Sean Payton, but he wasn't what Sean Payton wanted. He hated him. And I actually think, and I know you're not a Bo Nix guy, but Bo Nix fits what Sean Payton's system is. That's why I think Bo Nix will have success. But Bo Nix is not the athlete that Russell Wilson or Drew Brees in the past was in a Sean Payton system. So it'll be interesting to watch in Denver sort of how they recover from this Russell Wilson debacle. But you cannot deny it was an absolute debacle. So that's why I'll give the Niners a little bit of a pass, because a system was in place there to say, this Trey Lance thing is a train wreck. We got to pivot here. And they did, and Brock Purdy was able to have success in that system.
But this is them trading their 2023 first-round pick and a second-round pick to move up to the 3rd overall pick to take Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And he never even played considerable snaps for the team. Injuries drove him to Dallas. But even in Dallas, he never panned out to be anything.
It's not injuries. I got a buddy that works out in the Bay that told me during the draft that they were like, he has scrambled eggs for brains. But the Niners, he's a good kid. He's not a bad person.
You have to be smart to run that system, and Brock Purdy can.
And also, what I was told is Trey Lance, and we know this, where he went to college is like a gimmicky offense.
Yeah, so, it's North Dakota State.
So, like, it was just too much for him, and he wasn't processing, and he was working hard, but he wasn't picking it up.
And he came off a full year not playing football because of COVID too.
That's right.
But then the Dolphins turned those picks, because where's the Dolphins picks?
Yeah.
Drafted Jalen Waddle, traded for Tyreek Hill, traded for Bradley Chubb with those picks.
Wow.
Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, some other picks fall into that. And for Trey Lance, he's not even on the team. And then with a 7th round pick.
Right.
This is again a credit to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
Yep.
Massive mistake on Lynch's part doing that trade.
Yep.
But they traded for Christian McCaffrey, but an all-pro tight end, an all-pro offensive line, an all-pro defensive line, an all-pro running back, an all-pro receiver, 2 of them in Ayuk and Debo. I'm saying can play up to that level, not if they actually have it.
Fair.
An all-pro safety in Hufanga, 2 all-pro linebackers,
right.
Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw.
Right.
Any other front office gets fired for that Trey Lance trade.
Yeah.
The 49ers are able to overcome it, which is nuts.
Well, their roster, right? I mean, it's a testament to how good that roster is. Here's one that comes to the top of my mind. I know you'll remember this. I'm sure Bears fans are going to just be ticked off when they hear it, but it happened. The Bears, people forget, traded up to take Mitchell Trubisky.
That's right.
And Deshaun Watson was there.
Patrick Mahomes.
But
no one saw Mahomes becoming Mahomes. Watson one is worse.
Still, just the fact that you passed up on these guys to go get that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's terrible.
Did Chicago really dodge a bullet, though, by not taking Deshaun Watson?
No, because they would have had years. They would have had some glory years before he got found out he was a creep. I mean, clearly he's been a creep, but they at least would have won some games before. Like, Houston had success with Deshaun. Then, he's a creep, right?
He's a weirdo. Get him out of here.
The Bears traded up for a guy who couldn't play. I mean, there were other guys who could play.
I got one more for you.
All right.
Commanders trading up for RG3.
Yeah, but even that, George,
Trav.
I know.
He went 14-21 with the team. He was gone after 3 years.
I was there. I get it.
To explain to our listeners, Washington traded their first rounders in 2012, 13, and 14, and a 2012 second rounder
to the Rams,
to move up to number 2 overall to the Rams to get RG3. Robert Griffin III went 14-21 as a starting quarterback.
Yes.
Was electric as a rookie.
He was.
Got injured, but was not on the team after 3 seasons.
Okay. Listen. It's the same thing I told you with the Niners with Trey Lance. Right. Yes, it's boneheaded.
But that's on the evaluation of the player as well.
I get it. But hear me out. The Niners had a system and a roster in place where they could pivot and recover quickly. Here's a genius, and he doesn't get any credit. His son gets all the credit for being a genius. But here's a genius of the dad, Mike Shanahan, who said, okay, because allegedly he didn't want to do this. So they do it. Allegedly, he wanted Kirk Cousins late in that draft. So he put his foot down and took Kirk Cousins in the 4th round of that draft.
Yeah.
That move right there saved the franchise because RG3, as you said, rookie of the year, electrifying. He took the league by storm. Then he got hurt. Okay, let's pivot to this guy out of Michigan State. No one's paying attention to.
4th round pick.
And it worked. So that's what I'm saying. I hear you. The move itself is idiotic. But the franchise, in both cases, Niners and Washington in this case, sort of had insurance, I guess, for lack of a better term. You had insurance that if this doesn't work, we have somewhere to pivot. I look at some of these other things like the Denver, Russell Wilson. Where the hell are they going? You couldn't go anywhere. There's nowhere to go. You're stuck. You're putting all your eggs in one basket.